Hello, beautiful friends. It's Erica. Today we're going to be talking to a very specific segment of the Sacred Feminine Collective. And we're going to be looking at what your potential subconscious patterns coming up for you right now might be, and also where you're being really strong. Spirit is going to, I don't know which segment of the collective is going to come through, but so this may or may not resonate for you. But I'm going to pull 6 cards here from my Archetype Alchemy deck. And start. Let's get the 6 cards here for the Sacred Feminine Collective I'm tuning into. And you're going to want to stay tuned here. I have a pretty exciting thing to share with you here in a few moments. I'm just pulling the 6 cards. Wow. I've just got 3 on the table right now. Yep. One more for the Feminine Collective. Okay, so this is interesting. We're only getting 2 shadows. And 4 in the upright. Okay. So what Spirit is tuning into here is the segment of the collective where you may feel this sense of, I'll tell you the archetypes we've gotten. We've gotten the soldier, the crystal soul, the starseed, the adventurer, the loner, and the psychologist. Some of them are upright, some of them are in the shadow. So we're going to start off here with the soldier archetype, which is on the light side. So this is that energy of someone who feels a sense of duty and responsibility to have to fight a battle if necessary, right? They're willing to put themselves in harm's way for a just cause. And they understand that there's a time to fight a battle as a last resort. They are a protector. They have a respect for authority. So what I'm getting here very strongly is this energy of like, your mission here is to hold the light. You know that your mission here is to be compassionate, be kind. You know that you're here holding a frequency to help yourself ascend, to help other people ascend. But it's a very lonely journey. It can be a very lonely journey, especially now. But there's this sense of like, when am I going to get where I'm going? And we're going to dive a little bit deeper into this. But when am I going to get where we're going? Why would I have come here if I'm not going to get my justice, if I'm not going to get, the reward I've been hoping for, or the manifestation that I have felt is in my timeline? And there's a real sense of, I'm here to do a job. I know I signed up for this, but what the heck? What the heck, Spirit? So with the soldier here, it's that you don't want to come here to fight. You don't want to fight anymore, right? The soldier, this is why I like the soldiers coming in the upright, because the soldier is like, I'm trained. I know what to do if I have to fight. The spiritual battle we're all fighting. But I don't want to have to fight. It's only a last resort. I want to fight. I want to be prepared for a mission. I will respect authority, aka the divine, and I will follow Spirit's guidance, because that's my role. I know I'm here to do what I have to do, and Spirit is guiding me. Spirit is the commander of the army, because we're all here doing different things, different jobs, and we're here for a purpose. So I love that this is coming in here in the upright, because it's right next to the crystal soul. So the crystal soul is someone who's very expanded in their consciousness. They're very inclusive. They're kind. They're compassionate. They're empathetic, peaceful, sensitive, and idealistic. And it's like, we know we're here to bring people together, to bring compassion to an energy that's been so antagonistic, so dualistic, right? Where it's this side versus this side. And we know that we're here to embody the light, to bring people into the higher dimensional earth, the new frequencies we're going to be living in. And everybody's welcome. Everybody is welcome. And we want to extend compassion and peace, and we're sensitive energetically. And that's why harmony is so important for us. And it's coming in with the star seed in the shadow. So we have the crystal soul and the star seed. So the star seed that's in the shadow energy is someone who can be, ungrounded, and they can use their consciousness for the dark, consciously or unconsciously. They have a hard time fitting in, and they yearn for home elsewhere. Meaning, we don't feel like we're part of this whole thing. It feels like we're from another dimension. It feels like people don't understand us. And it ties into why we have the loner here. The loner's upright. We're going to get to that in a minute. But the star seed here is someone who, it's like you're not happy being here, which is understandable, right? It's so understandable. Yet, you have a job, you signed up, you have a mission, and you're here at this time for a purpose. But it is not easy. But you might be feeling a little bit ungrounded, and be very careful also of the using of the gifts for the dark, because there are many star seeds that are here doing pretty nefarious things. So just because you have the potential to access the higher dimensions, and you have wisdoms from those places, it doesn't mean you're going to use them for the right reasons, right? Because that's part of the challenge, is we can get hijacked. And ego can play a role, powerlessness, all of that stuff that we're programmed to feel that we don't have power can interfere. So it's coming in here. But tell me, what's the dominant aspect of the starseed archetype? Why is that coming out? Okay. Not a surprise. I was just going to pull one, but two came out. So it's something you're aware of. It's part of your conscious awareness. And it's also how you're feeling, right? It's like, it's hard to be here. It's hard to fit in. Emotionally, we might feel like, gosh, why can't we just find our place? Why can't we just find our people? This is really hard. Many of my clients, myself included, have dear friends that don't live close to us. So we can't just go out and go take a walk together. So we're stuck, like, because we're positioned geographically where we need to be, but it's like the feeling of just emotionally not doing all right, because it's hard to be here. Physically, we might be having some struggles too, being in the denser energies. So I'm going to put pause on this for a second and just explain quickly. This archetype alchemy system I have used, I developed it over many years of work with clients. And it's a tool that the more I use it, the more I am it's one of the most powerful tools I've ever come across. And it continues to show me more and more layers. So I have an entire system around using this oracle deck, or using this system to really look at the unconscious parts of yourself, because many of us are very self-aware, and we know what we're conscious of, we know what we're aware of within ourselves, but the part that's a little sticky is where we don't know how our subconscious behavior might be showing up in a situation, because we're not aware that it's showing up. But someone else on the outside would tell us that they can see it, because they're seeing it and observing our behavior. They're observing how we're showing up, but we don't see it. So this particular system is a tool to get at that. And so I'm starting this week a mentor group. So even if you don't have this deck, some of you already have bought the deck, but even if you don't have this deck yet, this is still very valuable, because part of this is you get a full reading from me as part of registering for this mentorship. So I do a reading for you, which includes these cards. So even if you don't have them, we're going to use that as part of the tool through the 4 weeks of live calls, guys. The next 4 weeks, I'm getting on live. There's a schedule already set up. If you want to join, and it's a very, very small group. I literally have one person signed up at this point, and this might end up being just a completely, one-on-one session with her, and I would be happy with that because she's amazing, this woman who signed up for it. But if you've been not signing up because you think it's going to be 30 people, it's not going to be 30 people. I didn't expect it to be that many people. So it's going to be very small. So you're going to get a lot of one-on-one attention and work with me. And we're going to use this as the method through the 4 weeks to really get into where you're at, what to pay attention to, and how to get a glimpse into that side of you. So anyway, if you're interested, the link is below. The calls start this Wednesday if you want to join. So in the meantime, we're going to keep going here with this. So that's to start off with. Now, the next archetype that's coming up is the adventurer in the shadow. And this card came up in the last archetype reading I did on the channel here. And it was also in the shadow, which is someone who, it's like you're not satisfied where you're at. You want to go on an adventure. You sense it coming. You sense this adventure, this manifestation coming. And it's like you're bored with your day-to-day life. So you're feeling a little restless. And part of it as well, you're not really satisfied where you're at. So again, the message very clear right now in the collective is be in the present moment. Stop living for it's going to be better when. It's going to be better when this manifests. Be in the present moment, express that gratitude, and find examples of what you have right now in the present day that brings you the feeling of as if it had already manifested. Because remember, that tunes you energetically to the manifestation. So this also is calling us to look at the adventure. One of the aspects of the adventure in the shadow is someone who's wants to go on an adventure. Their friend's like, hey, we're going to go take a plane over to that country. We don't even know where we're going. We're just going to go see. The adventure in the shadow would say, yeah, that sounds really fun, but I want to know what to expect when I get there. What are we going to do? How is it going to look? Where are we going to go? What should I bring? And they're not willing to go on the adventure unless they know what's on the other side as part of their adventure, which takes away the whole purpose of an adventure. The adventure is the uncertainty, the unknown. You don't know what's going to come and what you're going to encounter. But it is coming up in the shadow side here. So be very aware of when our soul is so called to what we know to be true as the crystal soul and as the starseed, we know what's possible. We know this earth reality doesn't match up to where we come from. The frequency where we come from and the frequency we're even embodying now. And it can feel like, why am I stuck here when I want to be where I am more at home? But let's see what the dominant aspect of the adventure is here. One. An aspect of self. Because think about it, guys, this makes so much sense, right? You incarnated now because you knew you were going on an adventure. You knew you had a mission, but it was going to be an adventure too. Because incarnating was going to be like, I don't know how it's going to go. I don't know what I'm going to come across. But it is a part of you. It's like, I'm on this. You chose to come here partially because it is a new adventure. Because the adventurer is somebody who seeks new personal experiences out of the mundane, right? You want to experience the fullness of life. You enjoy trying new things and going to new places. Enjoys the excitement of breaking out of the familiar routine. And enjoys not knowing what's going to happen along the way as it's part of the fun. So you come here as an adventurer, as part of yourself, as your soul imprint. But then once you've been here for a while, you're like, screw this. I don't want to be here anymore. This isn't what I thought. I wouldn't have signed up for this if I had known what was going to be happening. But that is a side of self. It is a part of your soul imprint is to enjoy the experience, enjoy the adventure of being here at this critical, powerful time in the ascension of humanity. So the next two are also coming up in the light. The first being the loner. So the loner is somebody that really enjoys their own company. They enjoy their solitude. They can be very they can be introverted, very shy, sensitive, loyal, and they prefer deep friendships, right? This is where you'd rather hang out alone because you like your own company versus hang out with a bunch of people that don't vibe with you or that you have nothing in common with anymore. And there's, a time and a place where it's time to be social and go out and all that, but it's like you'd rather have the deep conversations, the meaningful conversations, the friendships that are based on true soul partnerships versus surface friendships, because it's all about authenticity. And the psychologist here is coming in, which is someone who is fascinated by why people are how they are. They're very curious. They're very open to understanding. They know they don't know everything. So I really like that there's been, in this reading, there's 4 that are in the light, because we're doing a really good job of being curious, being open, like watching and studying people and humanity. It is fascinating. Like even the people that we just look at them and go, how can you even, how are you even existing right now in this world where you act, it's like, what makes you tick? And figuring that out, because we prefer depth, we prefer more than just, hey, how's the job, how's the wife and kids, and how was your golf game this week? We prefer contemplating and discussing and pondering the meaning of life, all the different types of people, all the different missions light workers are on. You might be fascinated with seeing how other people are showing up doing their mission work. But so this to me feels really, really good. To me, this is more of just it feels good because it's more of a gentle reminder. I think the last reading I had 4 that were in the shadow. This is more of a gentle nudge, and maybe that already shifted some of you since you saw that one. But what we have here is definitely the sense of just a reminder, stay grounded. We know you want to be in a better energy, but it's coming soon. That's why we feel and we know it's arriving. I'm going to get one more. Oh, interesting. Many of you are healers. You're meant to help heal others. Again, compassion, healing. What I'm feeling as well is there's a sense of you're not just here to do a job, because you could just come here to do the job and leave. This is where your soul is genuinely curious, seeking to expand, because that's what we do when we incarnate too. We seek to expand our consciousness and our soul. And why would we come here if we weren't here to learn lessons? But this is showing that the group that this is resonating for is you are very much aware the fact that the more you know, the more you're learning, right? It's like the eternal student. So I was going to pull a card when we came out with the physical and the subconscious. What I'm getting is some of you are healers and you at a high level and you don't even know it yet. Your touch might literally heal someone in an instant. And if you're aware of this within yourself, you might not realize exactly how powerful you really are. But it is that You want to care for others who are sick or wounded. You can be very gentle, caring, nurturing, compassionate. And you do understand the connection between spiritual, emotional, and physical health. So really, I feel like a lot of you are undergoing an upgrade in the physical energetically right now. So if you're feeling like you need to rest, rest. Don't judge. Just rest. As some of you might be feeling the opposite. You might be feeling like huge burst of energy. So I'm going to just wrap up here with a guidance message. So if you're interested in checking out the Archetype Alchemy mentorship group, again, you don't have to own the deck in order to get a lot out of it, because I'm going to use the deck during the live calls as well. You get your own reading, which includes that plus the live calls. So do check it out. And join us if you feel called. So let's just get a final message of what's activating right now for this group and this segment of the collective that this is resonating for. Oh, I mean, hello. The stellar gateway activation. Infinite potential manifestation vortex. See what I mean? We are being birthed into a new world. This is a vortex of energy where it's like, yes, it might be hard. We don't know what's on the other side. However, again, that's why so much came up in the light. So you guys this is just a gentle reminder again, to a nudge to say, listen, make sure you stay grounded during this. Make sure that you, while you know we're going somewhere, it is happening. The field of infinite potential is part of you. You are here. I mean, you can't make this stuff up if you tried. We've got the healer, the soldier, the crystal soul, the star seed, the adventurer, the psychologist, and the loner. That is the definition of a light worker, is it not? Here to heal, here to do a job, here to follow the guidance. You'll fight if you have to, but you know this is a spiritual battle that we've been fighting. But to me, this means that the fighting is the last resort. So this is where we know we're trained for this and we know we're here for a reason. This isn't going to require a physical battle in our lives. This is going to be, remember the energetics. So my friends, I hope this helps. I send you so much love. And until next time, bye.